Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome into the Gramlich and Lain podcast, presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Gramlich and Lain. Happy belated Christmas, even though, let's just be honest, Mac, we're recording this before Christmas. So we're saying happy belated Christmas because it's the day after Christmas, and we hope everyone had a great Christmas. But Christmas hasn't happened yet in our world where we're speaking to you from the past.
Strange places. No one knows. No one knows what day.
Mac, where the heck are you?
Yeah, where am I? What is this place? I'm in Bristol, Connecticut. I was hoping to have like a really nice, pretty ESPN background, and then I went to go see my friend Jordan Cornette. So I went to go see him. We're recording this late at night, but here we are, and I'm back in the lovely DoubleTree.
Yes, anybody who goes to Bristol, goes to ESPN, knows about the DoubleTree. Right. So don't knock the DoubleTree is a great spot right there next to campus.
It's a good one.
It's hard to beat. Well, Mac, hope you had a lovely Christmas. And we have to talk about the Pop-Tarts Bowl today. I'm excited for this episode. This is a bowl game that means so much to the ACC team that is playing in it in NC State.
Yep.
We talked to an NC State player about this game, Mac. I asked you specifically because for a little behind the scenes, Mac is the person who obtains the interviews most of the time. Mac has more pull than me, let's be honest. So I was like, Mac, could we get Brennan Armstrong? I think that would be really interesting to talk to him about this season and about this bowl game and what it means to him. And you know what Mac did? Doop, magic wand, boom, made it happen.
The SIDs make it happen.
Well, that's I'm just true.
The one that asks, and they're like, "Who's that bald guy? He's asking for this again." Jeez Louise. And we got him. And Brennan so graciously, gave us some of his time, and it was amazing. This interview that you guys are about to hear was so much fun because I think Brennan was just super real about it. And he was absolutely transparent. I'm sure there's tons of things that we didn't jump into or he didn't share, but he went through the process and he was pretty raw about it, which I loved. I mean, it was awesome conversation and just hearing how he was in this funk and he got out of it and how he got out of it. So I love this interview. Thank you, Annabelle, so much for hooking us up. And thank you, Brennan, for your time just to talk about this game. So really quick, KG, let's jump into this interview. Let's talk to Brennan, kind of hear his thoughts on the game, hear his thoughts on the season. And then on the other side, we'll break this game down. Brennan Armstrong, our guy, welcome into the podcast. Super excited to talk to you today. You and I were just cutting up a little bit, and I kind of want to start here because I feel like it's historic what you have an opportunity to do here and to get that double-digit win, to get that 10th win in this bowl season. What does that mean? I guess two-part. To you, number one, to leading a team, to this team, to being able to do that, to be the second quarterback ever to do that in NC State's history, and then just the coaches you've been around, the players, the fans. What do you think that means to NC State to be able to get that done?
Well, I think it means a lot, obviously. 10 wins. Coach Dorrance obviously talked about, the rarity of that's happened at NC State. So I think, and I actually just thought about this, I think that was one of my things going into this season. I was like, I really want to win 10 win or have a 10-win season or have a double-digit win season, and we're here, right? So we have an opportunity to do it. We're going to be going up against a really good Kansas State team, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's just I know it means a lot to this place, and it means a lot to me. And I think when you really think about it, just sending us off, us seniors on the right note, is a great feeling. And I looking into the next season, obviously I'm not going to be here, but it really sets up the team to have a really good springboard into the off season. Now that there's a 12-team college football playoffs, we're sitting at, I forget what it's at, 18. I mean, that might bump us up into that, sweet spot of around 15, 14. I don't know what it would be, but, the guys could have a really good starting point next year. And with the schedule they've got, they can really, turn it up and get into that, those 12-team spots. So I'm just really looking forward to it. I think it's a huge game for us. And I think the coaches, the team in general are just pretty excited. Coach D's done a great job with this time, giving us older guys some time off, kind of recovering, getting our bodies back and getting a lot of developmental stuff going. But yeah, man, we start next week, prep for Kansas State, and I'm looking forward to it.
Brandon, of course, you mentioned the team multiple times in that answer because you are for sure a team first guy. And I think this season really proved that in so many ways. Just tell us a bit more about your mindset as you go throughout the year from starting to not starting. And then now, of course, starting again. And like you said, you having this great end of the year, beating your rival in North Carolina, and then, of course, the big bowl. But how have you been able to stay locked in and, from what it seems to me, team first throughout the entire season?
Yeah, I mean, if you start at the beginning, right? I'm looking for a new fresh start, and I felt like it was there, and I felt like it. I had that feeling. And then when we got to games, things weren't going well. I wasn't playing the best. I was turning the ball over, and that really kind of just set me back mentally. Like from last season and thinking I was going to have a fresh start, and then I'm like, oh dang, I'm in a drought. Like, I'm feeling this thing again. I felt what I felt last year, and it was a lot of mental. I think Coach Roper, our quarterbacks coach here, he always told us, he's coached he's been around a lot of really good quarterbacks, and he says the first thing is mental. It always will be. The first thing that goes as a quarterback is mental. Physically, you're always going to be able to do it. But mentally, I thought I started losing. I remember that Louisville game, obviously. Like, that one broke me. Like, that Louisville game really, really broke me. And I think, being with Anai, he saw me in the locker room, and I was with him for 4 years. And he told me, he's like, I've never seen anyone broken like that. And I was pretty broken. Like, I just knew that was a turning point, and we lost, and didn't play well. And so I got benched, and that was tough. Obviously not expecting that in the plan, but in my eyes. But I just tried to be like, when I look back, full circle of my 6 years, and then obviously this year, I just tried to be a really good teammate, have integrity. I think that goes a long way, just in life. Try to be a really good teammate. They always told me you never know when your number is going to be called again, and I was always ready for that. And my number got called again, and I thought I was in a good headspace. I think most importantly, ready to go out there and perform and just not care. I use that word a lot. It sounds weird to say, but I just didn't care as much in a way of getting my mental in a place to go out and perform freely and have zero thoughts about whatever else that could be running through your mind. So yeah, that's just kind of how I approached it. Just like I said, just try to be a good teammate, because at the end of the day, that's all we have is each other. So just try to be ready for when my number was called.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that realness and rawness right there, and because it's tough, and a lot of people don't understand that, right? They just oh, Eric sucks, man, get him out. This dude, he can't block anybody. They don't care about the person, and they don't care about the feelings and the aspect of it. They just see a helmet, and they just see a jersey, and it's baffling to me all the time, the stuff that I see on social media. And it's part of it, and it's the burden that we have to bear, and the pedestal that we get being college athletes. It comes with that, and it is a tough part, and it's not fair at times. But can you take us, I guess, even further in that? Like, how did you get out of it? Because my goodness, the last 3 games that you started, it's like he's getting more comfortable, he's getting better, and you're playing better teams, by the way, as you're climbing this journey. And then to kind of have this exclamation, which I know you have one more game, so I'd love to see 2 exclamations, but this amazing finish where you guys just dominate North Carolina at home. We're there, prime time, and you throw for 330 and run the ball like, I mean, you look fantastic. So how did you just get from where you self-proclaim, say I'm broken and mentally and just not in a good space, to then finishing at a very high point?
Oh, I mean, shoot, like, I was in the fire for quite a while. Like I said, if I trace it all the way back to last year and just things weren't going well, and you're in the fire, and then you come back and those first 4 games or 5 games weren't going well, and you're still in the fire, you're not going to take yourself out of it. Never. I'm never taking myself out of it. But having that time to sit back and just like restart. And like I said, I talked to the sports psychologist here, have great family support. Everyone around me that is really close to me supported the heck out of me. Obviously, they know who I am as a person, so that's bottom line. They just looked at me as that way instead of the football player, right? So just the support around me was really helpful. I thought I always felt like I was a mentally strong guy and
Sure.
could handle most of the stuff. And then someone told me, he's like, there's always a low point. There's always a breaking point for someone, right? You never know where it's at. And that felt like, to me, at that moment in my life, that was a pretty low one. And I just needed some help getting out of it. And I did. And I just approached every day with a positive, energy, and just tried to push that on the team. And I think the one thing I did the best was, when I was taking those 2 reps in practice was like engaging, because obviously the ones get a little bit more reps, but when obviously 2s were called upon, I engaged and then I disengaged, and I would just talk with the guys, like, stop thinking so much about football. Let's enjoy this time, like,
Wow.
off the field, or not off the field, but just like off to the sideline too.
Sure.
Like, let's just enjoy this time, and then when it's time for our number to be called, go back in there, re-engage, focus on what we got to do. And I think I don't know, my brain and how I was thinking and processing everything, that was super helpful for me. Just not so tied up in every play and making sure that every play is perfect, and things are going to happen, and just me disengaging when it was time for me to re-engage. It just gave me such clarity in my mind and just ready to go out there next. And
Wow.
yeah, just a thing that I just never thought of, and I tried and it worked, and that's kind of another thing that I did. Get past that point, get myself in a good spot.
Wow, that's really interesting, and I think can help some people too, because sometimes trying so hard can be the thing that
you care so much, right? You
right.
really do. So there's a balance. It was weird. I've been in it for a long time, and I had to figure something out. Like, whatever I was doing wasn't working. So.
Well, you obviously figured it out, Brennan, because look at you guys now. And a guy that I think some things changed as well, where the game plans changed a little bit when you came back, and credit to your coaching staff for figuring that out. But part of the game plan was we're going to use your legs a lot, and we're going to get the ball to Concepcion in any possible way we can and let him make plays. So, you mentioned you're a old head, right? You're a 6-year guy. Concepcion's a freshman. What were your first impressions of him when he came in? And how is it like playing with him? And then what are you excited about for the bowl?
Yeah, so first impressions, I knew he was going to be good. I didn't know how in the offseason. I knew we were in game scenarios. So I was just like, we're going to really see, obviously, when the game comes. I knew he was going to have an opportunity to play without a doubt. And he just got better throughout the season. I mean, my goodness. And like you said, the beginning of the season, didn't use him in a way we were using him at the end, but still a really heck of a player. And then we started figuring it out. Coach and I and the offensive staff really started figuring out, this is what we're going to do. Like you said, using my legs, getting the ball out quick, getting other guys involved, bringing Casey in the backfield, just doing as much as we can to obviously get the playmakers the ball. And so that's a credit to them. And obviously, they make these plans and we have to go execute. So credit to our guys on the offensive side to go execute this plan they, made for us each game. So I thought we did it well, protected the ball and just played efficient football. And that's kind of how we win here at NC State.
Yeah. And it's like I said, man, it's been so impressive just to see this run. That started with Clemson. I mean, a great game at home and finding a way to beat those guys. And kind of the mainstay that has been is how dominant this defense has been. What has it been like through your eyes and going against those guys in practice and seeing a guy like Peyton Wilson who won like every award possible? He got gypped on one, which was baffling. But other than that, I mean, this guy was a consensus All-American, first team everywhere you see it. And I just reflect on his career and having watched him. I mean, we've pretty much been doing this since he got to school and seeing the journey that he's been on. But take me behind the scenes a little bit from your perspective and as a teammate, just of his development and having to really step up this year to be a vocal leader and to be, the guy defensively for this team.
Well, yeah, I'll start with just like the defense going against them every day. Obviously, it's not every week. We don't go good on good once we really get into the meat of the season. But, the offseason was brutal. I mean, my goodness, it was just they're everywhere. They're running the 3-3-5, and they're coming from different areas. They're blitzing from different areas. They're playing different zone drops. That was tough. Let me tell you that I'm glad we went through that as an offense. And but yeah, it was tough looking back on it. Peyton, I wasn't with his journey I was with his journey for a short amount of time, but from what I've seen and heard through his injuries and all that stuff, I mean, I've never played with a guy that does what he's done. Never. In the way he's done it. I mean, just the impact that he has on our team. It's incredible. The guys, as soon as he's speaking, the guys are like on it. And he's also just joking around too. But when it's time for him to actually say something very serious or needs to be said, it's incredible how many guys listen on that team. And then just speaking to him as a person, I mean, we developed a relationship that I said this before and another thing. There's so many different things I've talked about him, but I mean, we're both older on the team. We have this, just a mindset and a perspective on football, and I guess moving forward. And our relationship was kind of that way, and it was pretty unique. I've never had a relationship as like the same like perspective and wavelength of like what our lives are and what we enjoy doing and all that stuff and how important football is to us. So that relationship that I built with him was really special, and I think probably one of a kind that I, looking back, just even with my best friends from high school, just we've grown up. Our relationship, me and Peyton, started at a different point in our lives, so it's just so unique. And just the person and player he is, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, I just don't have words for it, how he plays.
I think you summed it up pretty well there, Brennan. That was good.
Yeah.
And I think we all agree there, and everyone knows Peyton Wilson's impact at NC State. When we look at this bowl game, first of all, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which, is an interesting name for a bowl game, but it's a big bowl game.
What's your favorite Pop-Tart?
Yeah,
Are there like Pop-Tarts everywhere throughout the facility right now? That's just what I imagine. Everywhere you look, there's a different box.
They put Pop-Tarts on like one of our smoothies after a workout or some of our protein.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, it hasn't been too crazy. They haven't just like flushed us with but yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. It is it's pretty interesting. I guess my favorite one was brown sugar or s'mores. Not really much, right? One of those two. Those are my two favorite. I haven't had a Pop-Tart in a while. That was my thing growing up, though. I love Pop-Tarts. But, yeah, it's a cool bowl, right? It's a very cool, interesting bowl. Right. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's a big, I forget, which one it was before the renamings and everything, but this is a bigger bowl. People know that. And when we look at bowl games, at least for me, when I'm trying to figure out, who's going to win, whatever, it's which team wants to be there more. And I think with how much is at stake for NC State with the 10th win, which would be huge for this program, the momentum you're talking about heading into next year with the 12-team playoff. And then you got K-State with their quarterback in the portal and all this stuff, their offensive coordinator leaving. You don't have to talk about K-State, but I have to imagine you guys really want to be there, and this game matters a lot. Am I right on that, Brennan?
Yeah, I would say so. I think our guys, Coach Dorn has done a really good job of emphasizing, the importance of this game and what it means for this team and, what it can do as a legacy just for this team. Not like I talked about, it pushing us and springboarding the next team in the next season, but just solely focusing on this one game. Like, this is super important, and it's basically history at NC State. This 6-game stretch, if we win all this last one, that's a six-game winning streak at the end. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's hard. That's very hard to do. So, yeah, I think our guys are motivated. We start prep this coming week, or what's today, Monday? Yeah, Monday. So we start prep tomorrow of K-State. So we'll really get a gauge of where guys are because we've done a lot of developmental stuff. But like I said, I think Dorn's done a really good job of emphasizing the importance of this one, and hopefully the guys. And I'll make sure that guys are ready for this one because I want to go out on a win. It's a lot better when you win. Always will be.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. It's hard to do. People don't understand that. Last thing for you, man, and we'll get you out of here, at least for me. And I want to touch on Coach Dorn. You just mentioned him there, and I honestly think this is one of his better coaching jobs that he's done, just because of kind of how the season went. And it's almost like 3 seasons in its own, and this being kind of the final chapter here. Just give us kind of a snapshot of your relationship with him and who he is as a man, kind of, in that locker room, things that, we obviously get to see. He does not, bat away from being who he is. And I think everyone kind of gets that. And you kind of, get to learn that over the years. But he's a great man, it seems like.
Yeah, I'd say one is he's not afraid of, who he is. He'll definitely stand up for us and just be him no matter what's going on. And I think he's done that throughout the season, even through the lows and all the highs. He's stuck to being who he is and what he wants for this team, and he's continued to push us. It start great, whatever, and then you get our bye week and we reset, and that's kind of how, like you said, there's so many different parts of the season. But I mean, this bye week that we had, and then moving forward from that, I mean, it was huge for us. And he just said it's a 5-game season. We're taking it one game at a time, and that's how everyone approached it. He gave us the recipe to winning here at NC State. Obviously, our defense being stout and us as an offense just taking care of the ball and being super efficient on first and second down and getting us in third and manageables, and points are going to get on the board, and our defense are going to stop the guys and get us the ball back. And we continue to do that. And we started eating away at a lot of teams, I think, throughout the game. And that was kind of our recipe. But like you said, I mean, he's just kept us straight and narrow and kept us focused. And he's done it, like I said, he's done just a super job of that. And we just, as leaders on the team, we have a good group of guys and just tried to echo that and continue to just push forward and do that same thing in the practice field.
No doubt. Well, man, this was a real treat. We appreciate your time. Very excited for this opportunity that you guys have at NC State, and go get that 10th win, man. That's big time. We appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
What's up, guys? Merry Christmas, and hope you have an awesome holiday season. We have some really exciting news because of our friends over at Ingles. KG and I really feel great about giving back to the community. We want to do that. We have that urge, and these guys have stepped up huge. So massive shout out to Ingles. We are partnering with them to feed over 100 families this holiday season. We're going to do a bunch of gift cards, giving it out to the community, to various people, and they have stepped up huge to match us in that effort in the upstate, KG.
That's right, Mac. Partnering with Ingles, we are so excited to be able to help support Clemson Community Care, the Dream Center, and Clemson's Paw Pantry this holiday season. If you want to find out more about these amazing organizations, we will link their information below. Wherever you're watching this, we'll have some link to this post, so look for it. We would encourage you to also give back to your community this year in whatever way you can. Doesn't necessarily have to be to these organizations. It can be, $1, $5, whatever it is. That's what we hope you'll get from this. So God bless and happy holidays from Gramlich and Mac Lain. Thanks again to Brennan Armstrong for joining us. Again, he was just so good. Appreciate his time. I know he's been through the fire in the ACC at 2 different places. He knows what he's talking about. He's an experienced guy, and we know how much this bowl game means to him. Mac, before we dive into this game, this is the Pop-Tarts Bowl, Thursday, December 28th. This week, ESPN, 5:45 p.m., number 18, NC State versus number 25, Kansas State. Kansas State's a 2.5-point favorite. Total's 47.5. We'll get to that. First and foremost, and we are going to talk about some of the things going on with NC State and people they're bringing in the portal. Mac, did you know that they are putting together some special items for NC State and Kansas State fans and others attending this Pop-Tarts Bowl down in Florida? At the stadium, here are 5 items that you can buy if you are a fan there. And I want you to tell me which one you would pick, okay? Number 1, the Cinnamon Roll Pop-Tarts Banana Pudding. Frosted Cinnamon Roll Pop-Tart Bites and Chantilly Cream. I don't know what that is. Okay, there's your first one. Pop-Tarts Ice Cream Sundae. Frosted Strawberry Pop-Tart Bites, Vanilla Ice Cream Strawberry Sauce. You like strawberries, so that could be for you. End Zone Celebration Brown Sugar Cinnamon Pop-Tarts Cheesecake. Oh my God, sign me up. Frosted Brown Sugar Cinnamon Pop-Tarts New York Style Cheesecake and Dulce de Leche. Oh my goodness. Okay, how about this one? End Zone Celebration Strawberry Pop-Tarts Cheesecake. So same thing, Mac with strawberry. That would be for you too. And then here's an interesting one, the last one. Pop-Tarts Popcorn. Chopped frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts, freshly popped popcorn, and strawberry glaze. Oh my goodness.
I love popcorn so much. That is right up. That is. Have you ever? Are you a movie person? Do you go to the movies, or did you? Before?
I went and saw Taylor's movie. Obviously,
counts. Have you ever purchased the Cheetos popcorn?
No. No.
God bless America. I love them so much. It's so good. You should try it.
Oh my God. That sounds
you're buying a heart attack later.
The nutritional facts would be terrifying. Yeah. I think, Mac, you and I would like all of these, but specifically the End Zone Celebration Brown Sugar Cinnamon Pop-Tarts Cheesecake. Wow.
Sounds good. I kind of was hating on it at first, but it sounds good. It does sound good.
Any NC State fans that go to the game, if you try one of these things, one of these Pop-Tart items, will you please tweet at us and send us a picture?
We need a full review.
I want to see it.
And on Twitter and picture.
Yes. Amazing. And Mac, this is bowl season, right? This is America, the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
That's right.
And with this game, we will talk about the game, but first and foremost, NC State is doing some very interesting things this December and making some noise, Mac.
Yeah.
Making noise in the portal, making noise on National Signing Day. The
Right.
two big fish that they got, Grayson McCall coming
Huge.
over from Coastal Carolina at quarterback, and Jordan Waters coming over from Duke at running back, who is an exceptional talent. So NC State already having a good December before the bowl game is even played.
Right. No, that they absolutely are, KG. And this is something where I've had to like chill out a little bit. I've had to pull myself back because I'm a little excited about NC State, and
Yeah.
hot take might be in Charlotte next year. I mean, they really
almost were this year, if not for the
right.
Louisville game.
I mean, they're really making a push for championship or bust. Like that's kind of what it feels like right now with the way that they're aligning. I mean, Jordan Waters is a stud. NC State has not had a running back that can physically pound the rock time and time again or establish that run game. It feels like in a long time. And I know they just had Bam Knight, and I know they just have those guys where in my head I'm just like, did they not run the ball effectively? And I don't think they did. I mean, they there were spurts, and you have that right here. You go add a guy in Justin Jolly, who is a freaky tight end, from the Huskies of UConn up there, that I think is going to be a great weapon in this, offense with Coach Robert. And it just feels like they have really tooled for this offense where they're like, okay, we're going to move some pieces around. Grayson McCall, my gosh, this dude is a beast. I mean, he's got like 13,000 yards, a billion touchdowns, and like 2 picks. I mean, he does not turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. It's just he's super smart with the ball. Cannot wait to see him in this offense and at the Power 5 level, at the ACC level, and then the competition and people that he's going to go against. Great guys on the offensive line with Erickson and Carell from Missouri and Notre Dame, respectively. I think those guys are going to be, playing right now, ready to go. And then adding Wesley Grimes from Wake Forest, who I thought was extremely talented, and, just unfortunate that they weren't able to have the year that I thought they could from a production and statistical standpoint. That now, look out, in this offense, on top of some really talented freshmen that they hit on signing day, even flipping a guy from North Carolina and another guy that was crystal ball to go to Georgia. He signs with them. So I am really excited about NC State and think that, man, they have got a shot. If they can pull all this together, get these pieces in early, get this offense established, look out. I mean, this might be my dark horse team. And maybe, I reflect back 2 years ago, KG, where we're talking about dark horse playoff team. If you win the ACC now going to 12 teams, you're in the playoff. So I'll go ahead and say that. NC State right now, the way it's shaping out, is my dark horse playoff team in the ACC. I mean, this is awesome to see what they're doing on paper. Now, you got to go do it on the field, but on paper, I'm very impressed.
Let's start with the Pop-Tart Bowl, and then we'll get to perhaps a dark horse playoff. But I like where you're going here with this back. And Brennan Armstrong said something very interesting in that interview. He said, if we win this game, that could catapult us into maybe a top 15 final ranking, which we all know, for better or worse, impacts where you start in the preseason rankings, which in the end can impact where you end up. So Brennan making a great point there. And so it really does all start with the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Now, Mac, my first question for you, and we went back and forth on this about Drake May. Peyton Wilson, is he playing? Should he play? This is what he said when he was asked about it. Again, this is December 20th. We're recording this. So if you're listening to this on Tuesday, we might already know, but this is the past. You are in the future. Peyton Wilson said, I'm just excited to get down to the bowl game, get this 10th win. Then after the bowl game, I'll be down in Florida training for the combine. He sounded like a politician because he's not committing. I'm excited to get down to the bowl game.
Means he's going. Means
he's going. Well, yeah, free trip to Florida, get some Pop-Tarts. But, he hasn't said I'm playing or not. What if you're Papa Wilson, are you telling him to play?
Yeah, gosh. It's a
for a guy that's had injuries too,
Oh, there's so many. Let me see where if he gets hurt, throw all projections out. I don't know where he's projected draft-wise. Let me just look it up real quick. Let's see. You guys are watching live what I'm doing here.
You can hear the Kermit.
If he's first round, then absolutely not. But if he's not, draft buzz, and see, you don't know. What do you trust with these? Who
Yeah.
knows which one
And
you're
a lot of it will be combine, which he just said, training for the combine, and then
with the combine out? I think he's gonna be great at the combine.
he is going to impress there.
You'll find enough quicker. Does this say fifth round? Fifth round. Yes, if he's
He's
fifth round.
not. I don't think anybody has him projected as a first round pick right now.
Yeah, I don't.
But
I think you play. Why not, man? It's something to. I mean, It doesn't discount or discredit that you were a part of that 10-win team. But
right.
you want to be on the field, right? You want to be making things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's such a tough thing, especially the injury prone deal is, I mean, just really on the top of mind. And you've done everything. You've maxed out for NC State, right? Like you've done everything you can.
The 10-win season. And yes, you're right. If they win 10 games and he doesn't play, he helped them win all 9 of them and helped them get there. But he understands what it is to be an NC State guy. It's so obvious. He's already so beloved. So he understands what it would mean for this program. I think this is my prediction. I think he's Peyton Wilson. So I think he plays.
I hope so. And again, he's won all these awards too. I just wish we could.
But the 10th win, that's what matters.
It really does. And I think that matters to him too. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. And it does kind of stink that we have to speculate. You guys are watching this and you're either laughing at us that we're idiots.
Yeah.
He's not playing or because he is.
Wow, they sound so stupid.
They're so dumb. But I hope he does. And I know he means a lot. But here's the deal. At the end of the day, KG, this defense is nice. And this defense is aggressive. Coach Tony Gibson is one of the best in the business. And, you know, the talent that he has produced, the talent that he has developed, the defenses that he has created have just been nasty. And I don't think that takes a step either way, you know, if Peyton does not play, you know, because I think at the end of the day, it's the scheme and it's the personnel and whoever's behind him is now getting an opportunity and they have to make the most of it. So I think those guys play with their hair on fire. I think they play at a really high level. And now, sure, if you have that guy, you're much more inspired. He's the best defensive player in college football. But it is a unit, and they play as a wolf pack, and they get it going. So I'm excited to see it. I hope we get to see him one more time.
I see what you did there, Mac. Okay, my real big question with this game is why is Kansas State favored by 2.5 points? I have so many questions here. Look at the K-State opt-outs. Will Howard, quarterback, he's already out. Trayshawn Ward, running back, he's opted out. Phillip Brooks, their leading receiver, opted out. Nate Matlock, who has 4 sacks, opted out. Multiple other guys. And then their offensive coordinator, Colin Klein's now at Texas A&M. So you look at the continuity that NC State has, all the guys that are playing for NC State, a month to prepare with Brennan Armstrong and Casey Concepcion and just the unique looks that NC State's been giving people on offense. I don't understand. Plus, K-State's coming off a home loss to Iowa State, where they gave up over 250 yards on the ground. Mac, what? I'm so confused.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. NC State's ranked higher. They have more wins.
And that worries me, because what does Vegas know, Mac? What do they know?
No. What do they know? I have no clue. But I've said this for a long time. Since these games came out, go with the Wolfpack. I mean, I just feel really confident about that, especially just the way that they're playing. I mean, they're on fire right now.
Yeah.
Since that loss to Duke, bye week, you heard from Brennan there and what he said and how Coach really got them riled up and saying, like, let's go. Let's finish. I heard Coach Doran the other day, talking about, you should have heard what I was saying in that locker room because they were in a bad spot kind of as a football team, and they were reborn essentially and winning these games in the way that they're doing it with great defense and to cap it off with a massive win over your rival where they were dominant. I mean, that score, a little lopsided, not reflective of the game. I mean, it was domination from Jump Street. And I think NC State continues that. I think they're motivated. I think they're excited. And at the end of the day, that double-digit wins, 10 wins, is vital. And I think they really play to a hard level for that. So no question in my mind, I'm taking NC State with those points. Give them to me all day long.
I agree. Again, Vegas, you always know, but I don't understand what you're doing here. So I'm taking NC State plus 2.5. I think it's just silly. I also saw on the ESPN FPI that K-State had a 75% chance to win the game.
Yeah. It's
Again, K-State's backup, he's thrown 35 passes all year, but he's not Will Howard. I'm baffled. So give me the pack.
Yeah.
Give me the Wolfpack in this game. And again, NC State fans, if you go there and you eat specifically the end zone celebration brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts cheesecake, I need a full review, please and thank you.
We need it. I have a much more important question, KG, that I can't remember if we've touched on this or not. And I'm shocked, I guess, a little bit that you didn't bring it up in this episode. So do you know that the mascot is edible? Have you heard that? Do you know this?
Yes, I remember that now.
Would you eat the mascot after the game?
No.
How gross is that? That is
disgusting.
So gross. I cannot believe
I would go eat an end zone celebration brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts cheesecake.
That is bizarre to me.
So
anyway,
how is it? I'm so confused by this. Like, I need to see this. I need to, because somebody's going to do it.
A lot of people are probably going to do it. It's going to be gross.
Okay, NC State fans, if you find your way into the field and eat the mascot, please let us know.
You just biting this dude.
Yeah. What? That's so wild. So wild. I mean, you talk about why you love America. Like, this is America, right? We have one of our timeless traditions in football, and we have a bowl game sponsored by a Pop-Tart. Like, that's
so dumb.
That's what it is. And the mascot's edible.
Yeah,
right?
The edible mascot takes the cake. Takes the Pop-Tart for me. So
takes the Pop-Tart.
Anyway, appreciate you guys. That's the end of the episode. Big shout out to Annabelle. Big shout out to Brennan for his time. And we're excited about the pack, not only in this game, but the future. I really do think it's bright and think that everybody involved getting these guys, these transfers, this collection of guys that they have coming in on top of this recruiting class is impressive. And I think, NC State going to make a bit of a run here. So it's going to be fun all off season, kind of talking about these guys and where we think they can end up. But that's it from us. We need you guys to go over to YouTube, come join this party, see my face when KG's rattling off these great desserts that are Pop-Tart orchestrated. And of course, the OGs over on Apple Podcasts, rate, review, subscribe there as well. We would greatly appreciate that. But until next time, we'll see y'all.